Okay, guys, back with you here on the 22nd, kind of early afternoon. Now, we're gonna finish here looking at the pound dollar, and that's a result of some of the polling we did to our Twitter followers. But now I'm gonna give you a twofer here because members, you were asking for Tilray. Guys, I mean, it looks like, you know, name your alt. There's not much I can offer to you here other than if it's going to survive, you're certainly buying it on sale. From a high of 300 to a low of 22, I mean, it looks exactly like an alt. Right? So what? I mean, maybe you can make a case you've got some sort of a, yeah, it's not gorgeous. But from this pivot, it looks like we can get a 5 down and a 5 again. So you're, you know, I mean, you're just buying it off of, well, you know, if it gets halfway back, right? So you really, there's not enough here to be a buyer, right? Technically, right? You know, yeah, you can make a case you've completed a 5, but really you need some sort of a motive and then a retrace to really get on board that again. Otherwise, I mean, it's a real stretch to get any other reason to buy it, and it's not, you know, even if you go down to the hourly, it's not particularly that much better than the 4 over here. So, you know, you're taking a flyer, right? It's much like the alts, right? If it survives, home run. So I'm not saying don't buy it. There's really not much that I can offer here. It's technical, right? You can kind of see this is all good, right? So maybe you got your first little start on it. I'd let that shape up a little more myself, right? So you can see maybe there's a 3, 4, 5 going in, but that one I'd go with. I mean, you know, if you want to be long the wheat stocks, right? Not that I'm suggesting you shouldn't be. I guess that would be, we'd have to go to another degree here, but you get my point here. This is maybe something starting here, maybe, but not enough to really technically say, oh, I really feel solid about that. You're buying it because it's on damn near going out of business sale. Not that they're going out of business. I don't mean to say it that way, but you certainly are from 300 to 20 bucks. Right, it's on sale. All right, all of that said, I wouldn't go heavy here, but you know, why would take a flyer? Why not? All right, let's go back over to the pound. Now the pound. Did I put that on? No, I didn't put that on YouTube. That could be why, right? So we have a lot of Twitter followers and asking about the pound, but I did it here for members. What was the date of that? I got to go check over. I did it on the 17th, but we didn't post it on YouTube here, so we'll just do a quick review. So I haven't touched it since we did the analysis. So just for a quick review for YouTubers and Twitter followers, it's just gorgeous on the way down. It looks like we are going to finish here. It's a little funky on the finish with a double. Well, technically it's a truncated fifth if we're done here, and we can't say with absolute certainty we're done. But boy, has this been technical, right? So just a quick reminder, right? When you're looking at FX, you absolutely must get out to the daily to get some perspective. I know it's tempting. You get down on the 30-minute, 15-minute, and it's all sorts of action going on. But if you want to make money in FX, it's not a short-term game. It's about trading the longer-term swings where these are just monster. They're not. It's not difficult. What's difficult is getting in the market and not getting stopped out by the volatility that's so inherent in some of the shenanigans that go on in FX. The highest risk is always when you're first getting into your trade, right? If you can get the thing to get a little distance from your entry, then the hardest part of trading FX is keeping your hands off the mouse. Just give you an idea, right? So here, just real quick here, we won't do a lot of time. Just 1, 2, where's our high probability zone for the third, right? That's to the tick, right? 1618 to the tick, right? You get some funky impulse gets done in there. It's tempting to look at that and say, oh, perhaps I've got just a giant diagonal, but of course we don't get the overlap here. So I don't think we can argue with the 1, 2. We're going to live with the 3 here, even though it's a little bit oddly shaped. Oh, I'm on a daily. Yeah, we can dig it out of there. 1618 to the tick. You're looking at some sort of an ABC, right? Again, this is not particularly gorgeous in terms of the wave structure as that moves through this ABC. I'm just kind of eyeballing here, but it looks like Pretty reasonable case for something along these lines now. So you'd look at that and go, well, I wonder, it certainly was good for the 3. I wonder if that's technical. Well, so from the 2, right, again, out here on the daily, let's get our low. What do? Right to the golden zone. So you might be thinking, oh, they're going after that one low. Well, that's what they run into. So then now you feel better about, even though we tap it twice, and that's kind of a good example, right? So it would have been very easy. So sorry, guys, excuse me. It would have been very easy to be a seller here and say, oh, good, we're off we go, right? You get the move. This is classic FX, right? So you get the move. You think you're well, that's a decent move, right? We're going from you're up here at 142 and we're down to 138. I mean, you got a decent sized move there. It's distorted right on the daily. You don't really get a sense of that perspective. But that's so typical FX, right? You've come down. Now, what are they doing here? They're running those stops. All right, so I promise you, somebody sold it here, thought, oh, great, good. And then they get tagged here, and then that's what follows, right? I promise you somebody got stopped out there before it went down, or more than one. That's just classic FX, which is sort of back where I started. The risk is always getting the launch into your trade. Anyway, so there we go, golden zone. Well, now here, of course, we know that with that golden zone, right, we got an algo that's short with that as a target, right? Until that 65 breaks, they stay short. So now we look at this and go, well, it doesn't really look, doesn't look right. You know, you'd be expecting 5 to come down here. We end up with a 3, but I've got a clear 5 here. So it looks more like, and this is what we talked about on the 17th when we first looked at that. Unless we're doing something, here, let's take this off here. Unusual in this 5th, I think we're going to have to live with this. So you'd have to get down to a smaller time frame to get this to finish. You know, sometimes it's not there. I mean, it's hard to see this as anything other than a 3. So maybe something unusual is happening here. But right now you're stuck with the double bottom, and as I recall, this is right. So this should surprise no one. So here, as we look at it, let's take this one off so you don't lose it. Right, so here we are, right? It's right front run on the 50. What do? Right to the algo target, right? You want to talk algos? They live out here, right? This is their favorite, right? They love it out here. So to the tick. Now you're like, why? Wonder why does it stop there? What's going on? And that's why. Okay, so we understand why we have a pivot here, right? And I've just wicked this off to kind of emphasize the double bottom here. Now, from here, let's go to the 3 hour. This is kind of where we picked it up last here. So we had kind of had this initial launch. Well, so of course, if you're trading the pound, right, you know, I mean, whoever's interested here is, you know, our Twitter followers, you know the risk involved. So you can't be in here blind to the fact that you've got volatility that you can't, I mean, you don't know how this is going to resolve. I mean, you've just got volatility. So that can be a good thing and a bad thing, right? So what I guess my point is here, I'd be very careful about over trading this. So volatility, of course, the double-edged sword. Traders love volatility. We want to see that. But right, so you know, so here's the new trader thinks, oh, volatility, look how much money I can make. Here's what the experienced trader looks and sees, oh, volatility, look how much money I could lose. Right, so just perspective. Right, so 1, 2, it's a little funky on the ABC. We don't get much of a C here. I get that, right? But we can see the 5 into the A, 3B. You know, double bottom into the C. It's not the craziest thing I've ever seen. So up we go. Right, we get golden zone. So, I mean, so this, when we were looking at this is what we're looking at, saying, okay, well, there's the 1. You go, oh, I don't love that ABC. It doesn't look like my textbook, but you know, there we go. So why does it stop there? Why don't I get why don't I get my nice, pretty zigzag? Well, there's why. So there we go. 1, 2 to the golden zone. Can he? I mean, I can't script them any better, right? So there you go, golden zone. What do? Well, that's your front run on the target, right? They take profit, right? There's the reaction. Second target. Now, are we going to go third? Well, we know the -100. That's our shorthand for the 1618 for non-members here, right? I do this all the time, right? So here we get here. So here's the 1618, right? So if we go to the 618, the negative 100, right, is going to be our, our shorthand for the 1618. There's our target. Well, now note here also, we're fairly certain there's an algo tied to the 127382, and we've been talking about this a lot in the day trading room. So the fact that we pause here doesn't surprise me terribly, but if this is going to get another kick, you're expecting it to get up here to the 1618 to really lock in on that 3. So you can certainly, right, nothing says we must go there. So this is not crazy that we would pivot here. Again, given the backdrop. The uncertainty around this, well, let's just standard ops here. We wick off our wave 1. So I've got a nice looking 1-2. So here's first algo, second algo at the 1271382. We're going to drift here. I'm not quite prepared to say with certainty that we've got well, why would you, right? There's no reason to assume that we're not going here, right? That's our most probable location, right? Nothing here says, oh, I'm getting a little hot here. Well, maybe, right? So if you're just typical Elliott, you'd anticipate that if we're going to get a good 4 here, you'd expect the Elliott oscillator to get back to 0 before we come down and label that 4. So again, it's not that we must make the 1618. We could pivot here and still have a nice impulse. Kind of leave it in between. We'll see. All right, see, there's still a lot of variables at play as to what's going to happen over there. So is there a trade there? Well, as I look at that, no. So what? Either you're shorting this because you think, oh, it's not going to make the 1618. I'm still on the 3 hour. Let's go 1 hour. Let's clean this up a little bit. Take some of this off since we've got those identified. We can get rid of that. Feel fairly good about our 2 here. It's not great structure. So at this point, this is the only thing you've got to work with as a 2. So if you're thinking, okay, 1, come here. If you're thinking 1, 2, you'd be expecting more to go there. So let's get this down to something we can work with. I'd go smaller. Bear with me a sec. Okay, so 1, 2. I don't, you don't love it, but that's all you got to work with. So do we make the 38? Yeah, 38 to the tick. Okay, so it's lower percentage, but 12% of wave 2s only make the 38. So 12% is 12%. So there we go. 1, 2. Can that be my 3? Well, it's not a great looking impulse, right? We can certainly agree on that. It's not a great looking impulse, but right now that's about all I've got. So just to add to the fact that I don't think there's a trade here would be the fact that that's not a great looking impulse. Where's my 1? 1, 2. Well, that can't be the 3. So for me, there is no trade here because this is too uncertain. I don't know what the hell's happening here. It does not look like a good 3. What is it? We could certainly fail here and roll over. So when the wave count is that unclear, well, then you got to defer to and go. Okay, what else can I put on here? Right, I've got a potential golden corner here. Right, we know that was a golden zone. Well, your 80% has already been realized, right? So the golden corner is tied to this pivot here. So we get a golden corner, which gives you 80% probability of making the median line, right? As I say, as often as I can. Best odds in trading, period, bar none. Okay, so we get a golden corner. Okay, your 80% is realized. So you don't really have that to work with. Yeah, we might get up here and get this upper target, something like that. Let the geometry of the market kind of dictate where we are. I don't know where that 3 is going to be. I don't want to call that the 3 because there is no way to dig an impulse out of that. So I'm just kind of using the geometry of the market as, all right, well, I can put a pointer and draw a roadmap up here, but this is very, very unclear as to what we've got there. So I wouldn't be putting a trade on here when it's that choppy and uncertain. I need something to give me a little more clarity as to where we are. So if this is going to keep going up, great. Then I'd be looking for something like that. If it's going to start to come down, then I'm sort of stuck going, wait a minute. I don't have an impulse here. Can I dig my shit? Let's just be sure we're not speaking too soon. I was looking at this thinking, yeah, you can't, it's not there, right? Maybe. So even down at this level, if I go to the very smallest, maybe I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go the super duper small. What do we got there? Maybe I can get 5 here. Very skinny 4, right? So it's so tiny. But yeah, I can get 5 into a 1. I don't want to go 1, 2, 3, 4. You're working too hard for it. It's too much of a force fit. That's not a 1. Why put money at risk? Say, well, maybe, could be that wick, maybe. No, not for me, right? That's not good enough. It was so many things to trade. Why would you force something here? Not to mention the insane amount of uncertainty we have with Brexit. So why would you take a iffy trade? I wouldn't go anywhere near this as it sits now. This trade, right? That was the trade. That trade's come and gone. So now you're looking at this going, oh, if that's the 1, 2, and this is my 1, 2. Now I don't know what I have here. No trade until I get more clarity. Now I am down here on the 1 hour where you get this kind of chop. So if I go back out here, things start to clear up a little bit better. It looks a little better out here. Right, still, right? Are you calling that the 3? It's not good enough for me. So I'd be in hurry up and wait here until I see, all right, are we coming down here? Well, then how am I going to label this? Can't eliminate the possibility that we've just got an ABC going in. Kind of have to pull all the way back and go, is there some way that could work? Here's my last pivot. All right, we're through the golden zone. You can see the little pause here. Is there something, anything else here? So the question is, why do we stop here? Always, right? Why are we stopping there? Got to go back a pivot. Are we going up to get the 50 here? We know, right, as I mentioned this all the time, this is a pattern they like, right? As we come up to that next 50, that's one to pay attention to. We know they're responsive there. Doesn't mean we turn at the 50. We could easily go and maybe do some sort of a double up here at the golden zone. Wouldn't shock, right? Wouldn't be shocking at all. So I think you got to just be patient here. This is, the other thing with FX, you got to be patient about it, right? You can trade 500 times a day, right? You want to go down to the 1 minute, right? There's no shortage of trading in FX. But that's a quick recipe to blow up your account. You got to be very picky in FX, and I'd stay out on the longer term where these wave counts get clarity. You get down here to the 15-minute, I mean, it's just a shit show, right? What are you doing with that? I'm sure. I mean, if this is all you did, right? I'm sure there are traders that do very well in this madness, right? But I would not be one of them, right? What the hell are you trading here? Again, if you do this if you do this all day, every day, I'm sure there's a methodology to do well with this. But I've never been able to do much down here on the shorter term stuff in FX. I would tell you 4 hours and above, or maybe 3 if you want to be. Sometimes I use the 3 just because everybody else is using the 4. So let's say it that way: 3 hours and above, right, for longevity in FX. My personal opinion, right? So for you scalpers, right, there's nothing against you. It's just me, right? I don't have time to do that anyway. So if I want to day trade, I'm going to do it in futures. But out here, you hurry up and wait, right? Eyeballing it, right? It's been technical, but there's no trade there now. All right, guys, there you go. All right, back with you later.